Pinto, and I am an addict in recovery, but more importantly, I am a mother, a daughter, and a friend. I am a client of the Women's Life Transformation Program at Genesis Acres, and this is a brief summary of my story. I immigrated into the United States at the age of 16 from India and quickly found myself in the bondage of addiction. I have been addicted to many different kinds of drugs and alcohol over the last 20 years. I have overdosed on drugs 4 times and had many blackouts. I have sustained various traumas, which included abuse, both physical and sexual, both of my own making and at the hands of others. My mother left me and my brother when my parents split up at the age of 5, then was hospitalized in a psychiatric facility for 8 years, and my father became terminally ill at the age of 9. By the time I was 14, both my father and my grandmother passed away. I grew up with a strong Catholic background, which entailed singing in the church choir and serving as an altar girl. However, after the death of my grandmother, I was mad at God and basically separated myself from him and the church. With a cocky attitude, I did not hide my destructive lifestyle. I started using drugs and alcohol excessively from when I was 14, and by the time I was 18, I was selling them. As a result, I was in and out of jail most of my adult life. I also went through several abusive relationships. One relationship, however, resulted in one of my best blessings ever, my son Xavier, who is 6 years old now. Sadly, my drug use and chaotic relationships and encounters with the law prompted CPS and Xavier's father to keep him from me. I had no contact with him for 3 years until I came to Genesis Acres. In 2017, I had hit rock bottom. I found myself homeless, unemployed, living in my car with no windows in the cold winter months. I realized that I was living as a slave to drugs and that I no longer had any control over my life. The thought that came to my mind was, homelessness equals hopelessness. I realized I had to change something. That was when God began to speak to me. He told me he would not forsake me or leave me. I signed up with a 30-day rehabilitation facility in Yakima. While there, I heard about the Women's Life Transformation Program at the Olympia Union Gospel Mission. I called Jody Yarborough at Genesis Acres and was able to enter the program by mid-February 2018. At Genesis Acres, with the help of Jody and Lori, I was taught a new method of coping, relying on God. I'm also learning about boundaries, how the brain develops, and how to retrain my mind. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. In addition to that, I am learning how to live a clean and sober, Christ-centered life through Bible studies, recovery groups, and life issue classes. Also, I have the honor of volunteering at the Mission Vision Clinic by using my skills as an optician. Today, my life looks different because I'm a new creation in Christ, and I now have regular weekend visits with my son for the first time in 3 years. As a clean and sober mom with over a year of clean and sober time, seeing my son smiling with joy and expressing to me how happy he is makes it all worth it. Today, I am gainfully employed at Olympia Vision Clinic, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.